Hello, everybody. It is a chilly, 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 chilly day in my studio. I did a little cleaning the other day and I left the heater off and it's like freezing in here. It's a little bit chilly. So I'm bundled up in my warm little thing. But I thought I would just kind of let you know what's happening, what's shaking, what's new. If people pop in, then they pop in. If they don't, they don't. But I thought I haven't done a live in a while, so I thought I'd just sort of pop in and shoot the breeze with you. So a couple things. One, I did do a poll recently on my Domain Workshop Junkies group. So if you take online classes or in-person classes, go there to go check it out and see my groups, Domain Workshop Junkies, if you want to sort of keep up on what's going on, share what you're working on. You can always join in and show people what you're doing, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. But the other thing that I did on there was I did a poll to talk about my next online class, which will happen sometime this summer. Haven't filmed it yet, but I was just sort of pondering to seeing what people would think about a particular class. So as some of you know, I've been working on these small little keys, and so it seems like most people are pretty down with doing a key class. Now, the one thing I will say though is it's not just going to be a key class. We're going to do these tiny little keys. But what I thought we would do is we'd actually build a little shrine around them. I haven't done it yet. That's what I'm working on today. I'm going to build a little shrine that these can fit in, and maybe even be able to take them out, which would be sort of ideal. So I think that's what we'll probably do for the class, is we'll do the key thing, but you'll have a little shrine for your very special keys, whatever key you happen to be working on. Maybe you have a whole set of keys that you're working on. So I thought that's what we would do. I thought it'd be kind of a fun thing. So so if just keep an eye on that. That'll probably, enrollment will probably pop up sometime in, I'm guessing probably May-ish or so for that. And we'll probably roll sometime in July-ish is most likely what will go down with that. So just to let you know, that's what we'll do. So we're gonna do the plan is we're gonna make keys, but we'll have a little shrine for them to sit in. It'd be lovely. Now, that's what's going on. Now, another thing I wanted to mention. So, since I have you here, one thing I wanted to mention was that enrollment has started for Day of the Dead, and the Dia de los Muertos workshop is available to enroll and sign up. Once again, it's Oaxaca, and this year is a little bit special. Because we're doing, we always go to cemeteries and things during Day of the Dead. There's usually about 3 or so for sure that we go to, and then, it depends, because they actually, the villages around there celebrate it in different times. Sometimes they're in the day, sometimes it's in the night, and so it varies, and actually it varies on which days. So we are going to do a new cemetery in San Antonino, which is, some of you might have been there. It's over by Ocotlan, which there's some pretty churches, and there's some ceramic artists who are rather renowned who live in that area. But we're going to go out there because they actually do a daytime celebration. They actually do it on November 3rd, which, is a little bit different than what a lot of people are, used to. But the other thing they do is they do these nighttime celebrations in the marigold fields, and that's going to be super cool. I'm really excited about that. And that happens earlier because you want to do it before the harvest, right? So that'll happen a little bit earlier in the trip. So that'll be really fun. So we're going to do that. So that's special. So a new cemetery to go and visit during Dia de los Muertos. The other cool thing is that some of you may know Jacobo and Maria Angeles. You may know of them. They're quite renowned these days. They are very, very famous alebrijes artists. They paint the crazy animals and things like that. But it's so fine. I mean, it's super, super fine stuff. So we're really excited because I've known Jacobo for many years. I mean, when I went back there, I think it was one of my earliest trips. Would have been in the '90s sometime. I went out to his studio just by chance. I had hired a taxi cab driver who's say, "Oh, I want to go out to these villages," and I didn't know where it was going. And so drove me around. He goes, "Oh, well, you should check out this one place. They do some nice stuff." And Jacobo was there, and he was a young guy back then, and did really nice work. And he always does an amazing demos. Well, it was kind of weird because I actually we spent some time with him and we were looking at all the stuff and all, and the thing that was pretty cool was I used to teach at a place in Southern California called Idlewild Arts, and he used to come there also in up in the mountains above Palm Springs, basically. And so he was doing his, with his machete and carving stuff. And so actually, got to see him there he was teaching there, I think, for maybe 3 or 4 years, something like that. And and then of course, when I started doing workshops in Oaxaca, we would come and visit his studio. But we hadn't been to a studio for a while, not formally as part of the itinerary. And so it's we went there last year with a smaller group, sort of after the workshop was over. But as part of the main itinerary, we hadn't actually been to his place. And it's amazing. I mean, you talk about a success story. This guy, he and Maria, his wife, both of them, have created this amazing business. They were useful during the production of Coco, which was the animated Day of the Dead Disney movie, right? Because they helped, talk about the scenes. If you saw the movie, and you really need to see the movie if you haven't, it's such an amazing film. But the whole spirit animal stuff, that was, they used a lot of the ideas that Jacobo and Maria had, sort of informed them on. So, which you can see in sort of I think the DVD has sort of some of those extras, but very cool stuff. I am excited because I was texting back and forth with Jacobo, and so we're going to be planning on going to his, taking a class. We're going to go out to his and Maria's place, which is a lovely place in San Martin Tilcajete. And they're going to do the demo, and then they're going to join us for lunch, and so we get to spend a little bit of time with them, which we don't often get to do with some of these, with some of these places we go. So this will be a lot of fun. So I'm really excited about that. And for those who don't know what we're actually making, you may go, "Whoa, what are you making in Oaxaca?" Well, what I'm doing is we're doing small shrines. We're going to take little things, and they can be as small as you want. I mean, some people, small is I want to take this box and turn something into it. That'd be fine. Whatever you can say, but the idea is it's a nicho. It's a place for a shrine. So we're not doing anything massive necessarily. Ideally, it's probably something like this. My samples are going to be smaller, about like this size, something that's handheld, and, make 1, 2, 20, depending on what sort of size. I will say this, I do find that with the smaller shrines, you think because they're small, they take less time, and that's seldom the case. I see Sandy has popped in, who does jewelry, and I think she would attest to that. That fact too. The smaller it is doesn't mean that it takes less time. I actually find that some of my smaller works take longer than some of the big pieces, like the one behind me there. Though that one did take a bit of time, but still, I do find that the smaller stuff takes a bit of time. So, so I'm pretty excited about that. That's really, really cool. Let's see, what else do I need to tell you guys? Yes, so Canada people, or, people who want to come up, maybe they're going to Alaska because it's right next to Alaska. Up in the Yukon, not too far from the Alaska border, I'm doing a workshop. We're doing briny shrines up there in the Great White Northern area of Canada, which will be a lot of fun. That'll be September. So I don't have any information on that yet. That should be coming up within, probably by next week I'll have some stuff. So that'll be very fun. We'll be able to do some stuff up in Canada, and which I don't teach a lot in Canada. I used to teach more in Vancouver area, but there are not as many places as there used to be. So that's really exciting. Let's see. And those who popped in late, yes, as I said, the next online class, we're going to be doing some key shrines. That's right. We're going to be doing keys, found object keys, but we're going to actually build little shrines around them too. So you get your little dose of little things, little keys that have significance, and then we get to make a shrine out of them, and that should be a whole lot of fun. So one thing to watch for, by the way, I am I believe next Tuesday, pay attention to my podcast, also my YouTube channel, because I'm going to meet up with my buddy John. We're going to do a little episode. Now, John is one of the organizers for my Oaxaca and Mexico trips. He and Mija are my two organizers there. And John and I are going to be talking a little bit about a tradition that, since he and Mija now live in Mexico, at least part of the time, he's been seeing these sort of murals that are associated with Day of the Dead. And each neighborhood, each barrio has a different sort of mural. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tradition, which is a tradition that you see around, but I guess I never really knew that it was a formal tradition. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and that should be fun. So that will be the next episode of the podcast, which we'll record next week, and then you'll be able to listen to that, check it out, all that good stuff. I think that's it. I just wanted to talk about the key shrines coming this summer. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I wanted to definitely remind you about Dia de los Muertos, Oaxaca, because that's going to be just an absolute blast. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about it. I'm always excited about heading down there. So make sure you sign up, because that'll be good. But that's what's happening on my end. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I will see you guys somewhere, hopefully in person. Well, it's always better to see you guys in person. So with any luck, I'll see you guys in person, because that's, you get to chat. It's just better. Things in person are better. All right. Have a great day, you guys. I'm going to try and warm up and build some shrines around my little keys. All right. See you guys. Adios.